So the president traded 5 notorious murdering Taliban for from Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, for Bo Bergdahl, who supposedly, allegedly walked away from his unit and was supposedly held captive as a prisoner of war for 5 years. And these 5 notorious murderous Taliban that were being held as enemy combatants in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, were prisoners of war, which they had never been designated as prisoners of war because no war had been declared. Okay. Anyway, let's move along. So Bergdahl is in Germany now, and he's going to have his health checked over. And here's my thought on this. They should probably deprogram him. Okay? And I'm hoping, I swear, I'm hoping and praying that that is what they're doing over in Germany, is deprogramming this guy. Because what's the possibility of him coming back and becoming a Major Hassan at Fort Hood? Okay, and what's the possibility of him coming back and attempting to carry out a terrorist act against the United States on American soil, against American citizens that he swore an oath to defend? Actually swore an oath to defend the Constitution and oppose all enemies, foreign and domestic, against the country. Okay, and he apparently there's evidence out there that he was sympathetic to the Taliban cause. So I'm hoping, I'm praying that the Americans outside of the White House and outside of the administration have enough G2 up here to realize this guy could be a potential problem when he gets back to the United States. He's probably going to be a problem. And I'm glad he's free, but this administration has dropped the ball again. And they negotiated with terrorists, and they released terrorists for a hostage, and it's now open season. So Americans, look over your shoulder. Don't stroll down the wrong street like the Marine that went into Mexico. If I was president of the United States, I would probably put the Marines on the border and tell them, you got 1 hour to produce this young man, or else we're coming and getting him. That's what I would do. And I would just tell Mexico, you know what? You got an hour, or we're sending in the Marines to get their own. I was in the Marine Corps, so I feel for this situation. I have sympathy for this Marine, and that's what I would do if I was president. I would go get him, and I would send his buddies to go get him out. That's what I would do. That's just me. That's probably why I'm not in the White House, because I would do something like that. I would stand up against these guys. They stripped him, they chained him down, and they beat him. You don't do that. The guy is not a violent criminal. You don't do that. So if that's how you're going to treat our people who make a mistake and make a wrong turn, if I was president, I'd be coming to get them. And this president is just, our president has just demonstrated time after time after time after time after time his incompetence to hold this office. And to all the people out there who voted for him, you didn't know what you were doing. And you didn't know what you were doing, because he has now set you up. If you ever decide to take a vacation overseas, you're a target. If you ever decide to go to Europe, you're a target. And remember the guy in Britain the soldier who was walking down the street and got his throat slashed and head cut off by extremists over there, Americans, you're targets now. You're targets because your president has made you a target. So I hope you can sleep well knowing that you voted for the guy who made you the target. If you ever go overseas, you never know. You might be walking down the street and some guy might walk up to you and slit your throat because you're American. Because you're American. Your president has set you up for that now. Congratulations on your vote. Have a nice night. Go Tigers.